In this lesson video, we will discuss several Excel basic features which are undo and redo. Also, we are going to cover several techniques for saving files. I understand that these topics might seem to be too basic for most people. However, I still recommend that you watch this lesson because there may be some important information that you may not know about. When you make a mistake in Excel, for example, you select these cells and then press the delete button so that the data are deleted. Let's say you do not mean to delete the data and need to restore them. For this, you can perform undo. The shortcut for undo in Excel is the same as most other applications, and that is Ctrl-Z. In addition to shortcuts, you can also click the undo button located in the quick access toolbar. Excel supports up to 100 levels of undo. This is a lot, considering that most Excel users only need to perform undo ranging from 1 to 4 levels. The opposite of undo is redo. With undo, we are like going backward using a time machine. While with redo, it is like we are going forward again into the future. To redo in Excel, we can use the shortcut Ctrl-Y. Or you can also press the redo button here in the quick access toolbar. Just for example, if I input A, tab B, tab C, tab D, tab E. To cancel these data inputs one by one, we can use undo. We can press the shortcut Ctrl-Z a few times to go back to as far as we need. Now, to redo, we can press Ctrl-Y. Basically, with redo, we are moving forward undoing the undo that we did previously. Again, these are very basic, and I'm sure most of you already know about this. But there is one very important thing that you need to know which relates to the undo and redo features. And that is, not all commands in Excel applicable to undo or redo. One example of this, which I think is extremely crucial, are the commands related to creating and deleting worksheets. You have to remember this carefully, that you cannot use undo or redo on these commands. To show you what I mean, you can click the plus button to create a new sheet. And if you try to undo, Excel will only move the focus to the previous worksheet, but it will not delete this new worksheet. And if you delete it, that is, by right-clicking and selecting delete, you cannot undo this command either. So you can imagine that you are working with lots of data and formulas on a worksheet, but then you accidentally delete the sheet. All your work just vanished in a matter of seconds. Of course, software developers at Microsoft are aware of the dangers of losing data like this. Therefore, if we have a worksheet that already contains data, and we try to delete the worksheet, Excel will first prompt us with a question, whether this is really what we want to do or not. A worksheet will only be deleted immediately without questions if it is still empty. At least with this mechanism, there is one layer of protection from losing data due to incorrectly deleting a worksheet. But to be really safe from accidental data loss, you need to save the file frequently. To save a file, you can open the File menu. Here, you will see two types of commands for saving data, Save and Save As. The difference between the two is like this. If you use the Save As command, you will be asked to specify a location where the file will be stored, and also to specify a name for that file. On the other hand, the Save command is only used to save files without any process of picking the location and also naming the file. In general, you need to use the Save As command first, at least once. Then after that, you can use the Save command. If you create a new file that you have never saved before, then you cannot just save it even if you try. You can only perform Save As because Excel does not know where to save the file and what name to use for that file. So in the case of a new file, even if you press Save here, what Excel will open is actually the Save As dialog. The first step for performing Save As is to determine the file location. You can do this in many ways. If you are connected with Dropbox, you can quickly access Dropbox sync folders here. If you use the This PC option, Excel provides a mini version of the File Explorer. You can open a folder by clicking on the folder name. You can also return to the parent folder by clicking on this arrow. And if you keep clicking on this arrow, you will eventually get to the very top position where you can select the drive on your computer. I'm going to use Drive C and choose the working folder here. Just for example, after selecting a location, you can provide a name for the file in this field. For example, I'm giving it a name, contoh file, which means sample file in English. Notice that Excel uses the XLSX format by default. While Excel supports a wide variety of file types, I recommend that you use this format instead for maximum feature compatibility. So basically, you do not need to change these options. And if you are done, you can click the Save button on the right side. Honestly, I rarely use this PC feature to browse and save files because I am more familiar with the default File Explorer interface that belongs to the Windows operating system. So personally, I prefer to click this Browse button so I can use the standard File Explorer. You can choose the location for the file in the upper area of the File Explorer as usual. Then, you can provide a name for the file in this text box. And when you are done, you can save the file by pressing the Save button here. If you do Save As correctly on a file, at the top of the Excel interface, you will see the name of the file. At this condition, then you can use the Save File feature. And to do that, besides going to the File menu and then clicking on the Save button, you can also save a file using the keyboard shortcut, which is by pressing Ctrl S. Or you can also save a file using this button with the floppy disk icon in the Quick Access toolbar. Sometimes, you have saved the file by using the Save As command and then later the Save command. But then, you still need to save the file again with a different name and or a different location. In this case, you can perform a Save As again. Now, besides using the File menu and clicking the Save As button here, you can also do this quickly by pressing the F12 key on the keyboard. You can see by doing this, Excel opens the File Explorer to perform Save As. Just like before, you can choose the location of the file up here, then input the name here. And when you are finished, you can click Save here.